No, I got a glass.
Don't forget the ice.
Go get your glass, bitch.
Got him, bitch.
Bitch. So yeah, that fucking boss fight was so dumb. Holy shit. I spent half an hour and I was raging because that dumb fucking cunt. Because basically, you take poison damage while you're fighting her. And if you get hit like once, you can maybe manage getting through the entire fight because there's like 3 sections. And if you die on any of them, you restart from the beginning.
Was that news guy there? Or whatever his name was in the game? Something?
Mr. Knack.
Mr. Knack? What?
No,
you can't get
Twitch.
hit. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, you can't get hit.
There's just 2 people in the
I
Twitch
was in that
that
situation
have
earlier.
added it that I have no idea who they are.
There's all kinds of people that are...
No, but like especially on his, there's always those 2.
Oh, those 2.
Yeah, who's Mew Master?
Yeah, Mew Master and there's somebody else.
He has actual followers.
Yeah, I know, but who are they?
No one knows. Do you ever talk to them?
Yeah, they're friends.
Yeah,
Are they friends?
Yeah, they are. They're friends.
Actual
From?
friends?
Online
Here?
friends.
The
Online
internet.
Okay, they're online friends. Okay, yeah.
I was gonna say, it's not like someone you know.
No,
friends. No,
exactly.
it's not someone you guys.
Yeah, no, they're internet people.
They must think we're a bunch of idiots, the way we comment to each other.
Especially
Especially me and Alex. When
such
we get
a troll, you guys.
No, they like. Okay, I'm trying to figure out a password, and these 2 always keep like putting random numbers.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, the first thing I made Alex a moderator. The first thing he does is throws the fucking bad hammer at
Yeah,
Erickson. He just throws it right at him.
What else do you think we're going to do with the moderation?
And on that note, let's start her off. I'm Adam, like usual. We've got
Erickson.
Mayor, Brandon,
Sean.
Matt.
super fast after Sean, ain't that?
I did. It's Sean Matt.
Super fast. You gotta
Anyways,
say super really fast, but fast really slow.
Super fast.
it's good. Jarring. It's very confusing to the viewers.
Using.
He's William Shatner.
reviewing.
We have William Shatner in here.
Yeah, you are an articulate motherfucker tonight.
God, I'm trying to enunciate my words so I don't slur everything.
Yeah, because sometimes when you don't enunciate, it becomes very frustrating.
All right. Let's kick it off. Erickson, what were you playing this week?
You better not say League of Legends.
Oh, you're out of this podcast forever.
I've been playing, as you guys have been following my streams. I know one of you, especially Matt.
Yes.
I've been playing a lot of Japanese RPG horror games.
Yeah, were they all mainly made in like RPG Maker?
Yeah, they were mainly made in RPG Maker.
Okay.
So yeah, you're correct on that. But so I played several, but I won't go into detail.
Well, which one were the which one was the best one that you played so far?
The best one I played so far would have to be the Crooked Man.
Yeah. Why?
Most definitely, yes.
Why?
It was the best.
Right. So the Crooked Man is about a man named David. David is basically, in a sense, a loser.
Okay.
He has a mother who has.
Wow.
I somehow,
Jesus, man, this is the most depressing game I've ever heard in my life.
No.
I somehow mixed Parkinson's with Alzheimer's.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was the best.
How do you mix the two?
That was the best conversation ever.
Alzheimer's.
Because he didn't know what she had, so he said Parkinson's. And me and Alex just started listing diseases.
Oh, God.
So yeah, it was
Okay, so
Alzheimer's.
she's
David J. Fox.
So the mom has Alzheimer's, and
so
she doesn't.
She doesn't remember her own son.
Okay.
Plus, he's supposed to get married to his girlfriend, but then he decided to leave him.
Okay, so aside from the story, what about the game did you like? Like, how was the combat?
Well, there was less emphasis on combat. It was more about puzzles, really.
Okay.
So you have to, use your head to solve, like, I wouldn't say they were, I guess they were kind of hard.
Were they like environment puzzles, or
They were kind of environment puzzles, like, you have to look around constantly. It's an RPG, right? So
Yeah.
you have to walk around to places. You have to make sure you look everywhere. So you have to search, like, if you're in a room, you have to search everything to see if you didn't miss anything.
Oh, so it's like one of those like point and click puzzle games almost, to the point where you have to like find missing like hidden
Something
items and
like
shit. That sucks.
Yeah.
But you still had a lot of fun with that. Was the funner game you played? Yeah.
Because there was combat in it.
Okay.
Well, there was combat in it, but it's kind of wonky, like
Wonky.
like the Crooked Man is actually like an apparition, a ghost.
Okay.
I don't know what you call it,
Mhm.
but he follows you around. Like if you played Resident Evil 3 Nemesis,
Yeah.
he follows you around constantly.
Yeah.
Like this guy doesn't stop following you. Like
So is this like a horror game or?
it's a horror game.
Alright.
They're all
Like
horror
every
games.
single RPG you played so far was like a horror game.
That's what they are.
But what's scary? What is exactly
There's
scary?
jump scares.
There's jump scares.
Yeah.
But it's like an isometric view of like a 16-bit graphics, right?
Yeah.
So what can
What could
evoke?
possibly?
No, the
Yeah,
jump
exactly.
scares are actually well drawn.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're actually
Well, I
and
was
it's screens,
about
actually.
to explain the story to tell you what it's about. But you
You've
guys
been
keep
explaining the story. It's been like this, like very thorough synopsis. of
Yeah, just like bullet points of the
bullet
story.
points, my
You
friend.
don't have to go through everything. Just
basically he just goes to strange, like he moves to a new apartment.
okay.
That's
nice.
what he's trying to get into, and strange things happen in his house, like
Oh, so it's haunted or something?
So the whole point is he's trying to look for the former tenant who lived in that in his house.
Oh,
And he's
okay,
trying
that's
to
interesting.
No spoilers.
Yeah, that's fine.
No
So
more
he's
bad.
trying
So
to find the old.
He's trying to find the former tenant and ask him
What the
like,
fuck will happen?
what's
Okay, see, that's very interesting.
No, but compared to the other games, like the Mermaid one.
Mermaid.
Aquaman.
What
Aquaman.
what platform is this on? Is it on Steam? Can you buy it off?
no,
of
it's
on Game
completely
Boy
free.
Advance.
You can
Game Boy Advance?
it's made in the RPG Maker.
Yeah,
and
so you
can find it online. You just put in the Crooked Man download, and it's usually the first link. So
And how much of it have you played?
You beat it.
How long was it?
well, if you don't get scared easily, if you're good at puzzles, it's usually maybe about 2 to 3 hours at most.
Wow, goodness. Okay, so it's like To the Moon then.
Fairly short, yeah. But
Yeah.
they're RPG Maker RPGs, so
And you would
they're
recommend
usually
it?
pretty short.
I would recommend it. I mean, if you like to get scared, you like
Puzzles and stuff.
puzzles.
Okay, so that was the better game you played. What was the funnest to stream?
Was the funnest to stream?
I like the puzzle one, not the puzzle, the museum one.
Oh, Eve, yeah.
Eve?
I had fun streaming Eve because I won't get into detail about story. Basically, the story is you're a girl named Eve. It's spelled Ivy, so it's pronounced as Eve, not Ib. That's
I always thought it was Ib, but anyways.
So did I.
so.
IB?
I
I
literally
did, so
knew
it's
it was
pronounced
Ib
as E.
right away.
Eve. Okay.
Eve.
that's fair.
So basically, you're a girl who goes to an art gallery, and art gallery comes to life.
Oh yeah.
So you go into this strange world where the paintings come to life, and they try to kill you.
Yeah, it was freaky because like they're half out of the painting and they're crawling on the floor with their arms.
Those mannequins
It's fucked
trying to
up.
kill you.
How is that done in RPG Maker?
I'm not sure.
They have different sprites. Like
Yeah,
you upload your
but
own
they have
sprites.
sprites with fucking paintings coming out of them.
I guess you could make one.
You make them.
I've
right?
actually downloaded it. It's pretty fun to use.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling you guys anything about that yet.
Fair enough.
Very enigmatic.
All right, Mayoor, what were you playing this week?
This week I've been continuing Tales of Xillia. I'm probably gonna beat that probably tomorrow and then stream it in New Game Plus on unknown difficulty.
Unknown
Die
difficulty.
so much.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
Yeah.
But like unknown difficulty, that's retarded. There's no like, couldn't they come up with anything
It's
creative?
like question mark, question mark, question mark. So it's something.
Oh, you don't know what
past
it's
hard,
called. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Wait.
the unknown. Okay, I thought it was literally called.
but it's
Unknown.
ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
I've played in Tales of Symphonia. I've died like the first boss. I've died.
Yeah.
You never die to the first
So
boss.
You have to like grind levels out or something. Or?
Yeah, pretty much. And strategize everything.
Couldn't you theoretically just play with other people?
I would, but no one else plays Tales.
Yeah.
Well, I
think-
mean,
I think you're the only one.
no, I played.
Yeah, play Tales.
Yeah, he plays Tales. I used to play Tales of Symphonia, but I haven't really played anything since then.
Yeah, who's gonna play 42 hours sitting down at a console?
Yeah. You can get Erickson to come to your house.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't like Tales?
No, he's never played.
Really? You've never played Tales?
Nope.
You should
He's-
borrow one from me.
He's more of a horn man.
Horn man.
man.
Horn man. What's that supposed to mean?
Well, ass, tail, horn.
God damn it.
Horn
How does
man.
that connect?
Tails.
Yeah, anyways. So you're going to start streaming that?
Yeah.
What else did you play this week? Or is you just pretty much soaked in all that Tales?
That and Cave Story. I'm trying to play it again on hard.
Didn't you start playing that and you said you didn't want to anymore because you didn't like it?
Alex kept on yelling at me for dying
Why?
Me
because
too.
it's hard.
Like, how does Cave Story even work? I know some, like, I've seen pictures of it, but I've never actually seen anything about the game.
Well, I've beaten the game on normal in the past. It's just that now I'm trying to play it on hard. Like I played 2 years ago,
Okay.
and now I'm playing it again on hard, which I shouldn't have done. I should have played it through normal at least once to get back into the game.
Okay, well, how does it work? How does it
It's
play?
a platformer. You just run around and you have guns.
Oh, okay. Pretty
Yeah.
straightforward?
Yeah.
But it's, like, hard? Like,
Hard, you only have 3 health throughout the whole game.
oh.
And if you
One
die, it's permanent
It's
death.
one hit death, pretty much, from anything.
And then so you have to restart the game if you die 3 times.
No, there's save points.
So you're trying to beat that on hard? How far did you get?
I got to the second chapter.
How many?
There's like 18 chapters.
God. How long did it take you
And
to do
hell
that?
difficulty is really hard. No, not hell difficulty. It's the hell level
Oh, okay.
where there's spikes all over the wall, so you have to jet through the wall. the
Oh, it's like
spikes.
Mega Man.
Yeah,
God.
I've died about 30 times in that level on normal.
God.
I
Wait,
got-
really?
Yeah,
I thought you were just going to say on hard.
just on normal. I've died 30 times trying to beat it
God.
2 years ago. So what I might do is beat the game on normal again, then beat on hard to get back into it.
You're like a developer's best friend. You actually genuinely play a game for more than one time, and you
Yeah,
play it through to its completion, and it's nice. It's nice to see.
most Tales games I've beaten New Game Plus at least twice.
Really?
Yeah,
But why do you need to play that much of the same Tales game?
The first playthrough, I play through just the story.
Okay.
Not many side quests, just to like grind. I do side quests. Then the second playthrough, I do most of the side quests, and the third playthrough, I try to do everything, get all the weapons, and that.
Couldn't you theoretically do that in the second playthrough when you're doing the side quests playthrough?
The reason why is because I'm not really grinding for levels, and you don't grind as well when doing side quests for some reason.
But let me just, maybe I just don't understand the logic, but the first time you're playing through it for the story, God help you, because in my opinion, the Tales games have horrible stories. So you're having an excruciatingly bad time for 30 hours, and then you go through it again, playing through the side quests, which are equally not that entertaining, but they're good for apparently not for levels, but for maybe equipment. But
It's
you're
good
not,
for alternatives to the story, I find.
Different viewpoints, if you
Yeah.
will.
well, that is fantastic. I'm happy to hear that you do that, because I would never do that.
Because that's what I'm going to do for Tales of Symphonia when it comes out again next February.
The HD version. I think that's
Yeah.
going to be retailing for about $40, if I'm not
I'm
mistaken.
buying the collector's edition.
Oh, yeah.
$100 down.
What?
What the hell comes with it?
Figures.
A big
for-
blow-up doll of one of the girls.
One of the men with
A pillow.
It comes with the soundtrack and figures for the main characters for
Oh.
both games.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a
Teenage
lot of
naked.
figures.
No, it's just the main two, like Colette, Emile.
Okay.
Uh,
The quiet one,
Lloyd.
the blonde-haired one that
Yeah.
doesn't speak,
yeah,
which is a
that guy.
terrible design decision.
The main character doesn't speak.
In the second one, he doesn't speak.
That's like in every other
He's a
game.
very shut-in guy.
It makes sense. A lot of main characters don't speak.
That makes
Wait,
perfect sense.
He never talks.
Exactly.
God.
Ah!
People talk to him.
Yeah, people talk to him. He's just
They just know what he wants to
he's
say.
a psychologist. That's what he is.
No, he's a telepath. That's what it really is. People just don't know it.
All right, Brandon, what were you playing this week?
It's this game called Grand Theft Auto 5.
Still doing that?
God.
I've never heard of that before.
Let me explain it to you
Okay.
in full detail.
So how far did you get then now? You said last week you said you got to, you did your
75%.
third heist.
Yeah.
So you did the one with the Gatling gun, which is by far one of the best ones.
Yeah, so basically, it's about a guy named Michael.
Mhm.
And
I'm
he-
pretty sure we
he
all know that
befriends a
part.
What
character
does
named
Michael do?
Franklin.
What does Michael do?
Michael is a real estate agent.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Does he sell a lot of
he
houses?
owns houses.
Real estate agents. It's
Is
good.
Michael a man or a woman? Just so we're all on the same page.
He's a man.
Okay.
So he
Mika.
befriends a
Mika.
local DJ named Franklin,
Okay.
and he spits like crazy beats.
Does he drop?
Fat
Does he
beats.
drop
Fat
that beat?
beats.
Does he drop the
He
bass?
drops the bass. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even
So
expect
what's
it.
Trevor then?
Trevor's just their promoter.
He's the promoter. It's good. It's good.
So,
Making up your own
Wait,
story.
So the
So
real
we're
estate
on-
agent needs a promoter.
That's how Brandon gets through games. He just makes up his own story.
This is what's really going on.
It helps. It helps in his mind's eye.
Oh, but basically, right now, I don't know if I'm going to be spoiling anything for people listening, but
I'm pretty sure
there's
at
no
this
one
point.
listening to it anyway. But essentially, I'm a bit past the point where these agents steal or kidnap Michael,
Yeah.
rather. I'm just a little past that point, and then Franklin rescues them.
Okay.
So I'm like around there.
So you're about 85% through the story mode, I think, if I have to estimate.
I
Yeah, I
guess.
think so. Something like that, right?
Yeah, you're pretty far.
Yeah, pretty far along.
You're getting into the point where Trevor just goes crazy all the
Yeah.
time. And
He's
Yeah,
completely
it's getting annoying.
yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Yes, yeah.
After a while, like I like Trevor all throughout the beginning until this point when he starts going super, super fucking crazy
Super
and
Saiyan
emotional.
But I guess that's kind of how his character is.
No, but it wasn't like that before. And then he just got super emotional and he became a gigantic
because
bitch.
they brought in Brad. They just threw in this random guy named Brad.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of random. It's like, Brad.
No,
That's
it's
why he was there at the very beginning.
No, he was there in the beginning.
He
Yeah,
was one of the guys that got shot
He's
when you were
the
leaving.
blonde guy at the beginning.
Oh, he didn't die.
He did.
He did die.
Oh.
That's why he's pissed.
Okay.
Have you played
Because
any of GTA 5?
Basically, what happened
how
in
do you even
GTA
know
5,
I've
the
seen it.
character keeps getting... the FBI was sending Trevor mail from prison for Brad.
Okay.
So he thought he was alive this entire time, and then he finds out he's dead. Everything goes
Well, you know what
fucking
really
crazy.
happened is the drugs finally kicked in.
There's that. Plus, there's I don't know. He kind of had like a little fling with that Patricia woman.
Oh, yeah, that was
then
hilarious.
kinda
Brilliant.
He fucking kidnaps this guy's wife.
So
Yeah.
and then falls in love with her.
Oh no!
Yeah.
God, have you guys played GTA?
No.
You should,
No.
man. I lent it to my brother, but when he brings it back, I'll
We'll
get
go beat
pass
him
it
up
to
and
you.
get it.
Yeah, go to Ottawa just to get GTA 5 back.
I think I agree with Adam. I agree with Brandon that Trevor becomes increasingly annoying, but I think that his relentless, uncompromising views of the world are so... I don't know, it's this weird quality in him that you never really respect him, but you always respect the fact that you know very early on who he is, what he does, and what he does not do. And
Yeah,
he
he's
never
not
really...
fake. He doesn't
not fake.
change.
Whereas Michael has been fake the entire game, and I
Yeah.
lost respect for him as the game went on. And Franklin is this anti-character. He's just this generic, up-and-coming
Yeah.
guy. Like, you can't really respect the things that he's doing because he doesn't do anything. Whereas Trevor is the only person that I found myself emotionally invested in, and that's why I was disappointed, because you wanted him to be something by the end of the game.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to ruin the end of the game for you, but it ends well.
Yeah.
I think it ends well.
So you're almost done. You're going to truck through for next week, I guess?
Yeah. Well, not really. No.
You have exams, eh?
Exactly.
Yeah, it
What's that
sucks.
thing you wanted to take to help with drugs?
What was it? Adderall? God.
You take Adderall, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
And then you pass. You just fly through the game.
Exactly. I'll be super concentrated on the game. For 15 minutes.
You'll remember every detail.
Yeah,
that
We'll
happened.
finish
I'll
the
be
game
like,
and
sure.
write this paper at the
I'll
exact same
do my
time.
exam, and it's going to be writing about GTA.
So
Super
Trevor,
focused. It's good. So, Sean, what you've been doing this week?
Beat Batman Arkham Origins.
You beat Batman this week?
the story mode, and I will never pick it up again in my life. That's why I wanted to bring it up to Matt, because Matt was on the fence about buying it.
it's
I
on Steam on sale. I'm gonna get it once it goes out.
For how much?
Like $5.
It's like 25% off.
That's not.
It's
worth
not
it.
enough.
No, that's
If
what
it's
I'm
maybe
waiting.
75% off.
So that-
75?
It's not
Really?
a very
That
good game.
cheap?
No, it's a new game. It won't go like that.
My
It will.
You might
Just
get
wait
a
till
couple
the
bucks
month
Not
out.
yet. In Christmas, it might.
You
Yeah,
might get
I know.
50% during the
Yeah.
winter sale.
I think that it was a good Batman game. I think that it had the best story. It was the most focused.
Yet you don't want to play it ever
The
again.
combat.
Well, because I played through the story. The combat was competent, but the problem with it is that it felt... When you weren't pursuing the story, the game felt like a mess. There was a lot of weird design choices. A lot of the side quests weren't interesting. A lot of the non-story related stuff was unengaging. The map was slightly too big. I mean, you can fast travel in it, but if you're not fast traveling, which is sort of the point, because you want to explore Gotham, there's no sense of you wanting to explore Gotham. There's no people. It's just a bunch of goons that are just living in the city now.
Sounds like Arkham City.
It is like Arkham City. It's,
Yeah, but I mean, it was in Origins, right? The reason why there are less goons than other ones is because Batman's been around for a while. He just started.
No,
Goons
but
are everywhere.
Arkham City, it is all goons again. The only
Oh.
time a civilian shows up is when it's like a side mission and they're beating him up.
Yeah.
And then you save him, he runs away and disappears.
Yeah.
That seems very empty. To be
It is.
honest.
It's very hollow. The game, when you're actually watching it, when you're watching the story or when you're fighting the boss fights, it feels like a Batman game. And actually, if you just play through the story, I think it's about a 5 or 6 hour game. It isn't very long.
Really, that's it.
Yeah, I think
Are you serious?
I think I might have beaten it in 15 or 20 hours, which is
Like,
being generous.
Everything, or
No, I think I got 25% of it. Because there's a lot of challenges that you do outside of the actual story.
so what took so long? If you said it's like 5-6 hours, did you do a ton of side quests?
I did a ton of side quests, and I tried. The problem is because you sort of two minds. You're playing it as a video game because you want to complete it, but then you're playing it as a video game to experience the game. And when you're experiencing it, it's fine. When you're playing it to progress in a completion list, it's very unenjoyable. It's actually just honestly it's so disappointing that a game has come out like this that felt so boring to some extent.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
Yeah, but I think you're getting into the territory of Assassin's Creed at this point.
probably-
Because it's the third one. You hated the third Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
because you milked the shit out of the other ones.
yeah.
And at this point, you killed Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Like, you played it to the point where you didn't want to play it anymore. Then the City came out, and you did the same thing with that one. Didn't
Yeah.
you get platinum for both?
Yeah, I played through it
Oh, God,
twice
how?
in quick succession.
Yeah.
That's City.
Yeah,
So he
that's
got
it,
platinum
yeah,
for
that's it.
both of the first two Batmans, and then you just don't have any more steam for Batman.
No, but
I
like I
love
said, this
Batman.
one plays out like it sounds the way he's describing it like City, and City was pretty hard to play
Yeah.
because they gave you everything to do right away. Like I didn't start the story mode till like 2 hours later. I was doing everything first because they gave you the option.
Yeah.
It was just there to do.
Did either of you guys play Batman? Any of them, or
I played the first one.
that's it?
That's it.
It was good because it was enclosed. It was like
Yeah.
5 buildings you could go into. This one is an entire city.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
felt like the first one felt like Zelda. City felt a lot like Assassin's Creed, and so they're both. You can consider them both like adventure, action, adventure titles.
How big is the map in Origin?
It's
Was it smaller or bigger than
it's
City?
bigger than City. It has all of City in it,
Plus,
and then another half of it, which
Okay.
has been quadrant off. I think it just feels so empty. It's hollow. There's no life to it. There's no attention to details. It's just these bland buildings that you fly by when
can't
you
even
do
go
missions.
into.
You can go into a handful of them. All of the things that were in City exist in Origins. All the side quests that exist in City.
I glitched into a building in City once. I flew in, I hit the corner, I fell into the building. There's nothing in
It's
there.
like Richard
Don't worry.
last week.
There really is nothing in them.
Well, that's
It's like Richard last week getting stuck in between the two boats.
Oh yeah.
And then swimming and having his crew, his
Yeah.
terrible crew, fight the other crew. Yeah,
Numbers.
hilarious.
Anyway, so I wouldn't recommend the game to anyone.
No,
except for
really?
except for people who played the first two casually enough that they can still see themselves enjoying the combat, the stealth, which is also very derivative. It just feels like a derivative game, and I'm okay with that if it's done well. But this has not been done well, and
I guess loving a game too much just kills it for you, eh?
Yes and no. Shin Megami Tensei, the series, which is a Japanese RPG series, are literally verbatim. I think the demons in it are usually the exact same. Very little of it changes, but for whatever reason, I'm still very enthusiastic to play them when they
You
come
want
out.
to know why? Because those games come out very far and few in between.
But the stories in between, like this, they're all school based, but it changes so much.
Yeah.
Persona 3 and 4, if you compare them, Persona 3, there's a certain time that you go into this world, and Persona 4, you go into a TV.
Hmm.
But it changes.
But the 4, you still go in at a certain period of the month, of the week.
No, not you can go anytime.
It has to be fog. Once the fog comes in, then the people die.
No, you could go anytime. It's just that when the fog comes in, they die.
But it's the same thing like in 3, where you have a certain time limit you have until the end of the month, right, to complete something.
Yeah.
They're structurally identical. I mean, that's when I was playing 4, I loved 4. I think it's a better game than 3. But it's too similar. If 5 is like 3 and 4, then I'll feel the same thing, I think, that I did for Batman.
I actually like 3 more than 4.
What? Yuck.
I found the story more structured better in 3 than 4.
But 3, they're like these... Yeah, I guess I could see where you're coming from. It felt like an anime.
Yeah.
The third one.
That's probably why you liked it more.
Which do you like?
They're making
Final
movies,
Fantasy 7 or
They're
8?
making movies?
For Persona 3, and there's anime out for Persona 4.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but it's terrible. It is terrible.
Just like
Pretty
the
bad.
Tales
I
anime?
think so.
It's just the storyline cut very short.
Yeah, condensed. And the
Wow.
story is like...
So it's telling the same story. It's
Yeah.
kind of weak,
Yeah.
Well, they're milking it, right? Because I don't think they...
Well, I want to see it instead of play it, right?
I
No.
guess.
The best thing about RPGs is...
It's like Game of Thrones.
Exactly. I'd rather see it than read it.
All right, Matt, what have you been playing this week?
So like I mentioned last week, I got a PS4, but I was not to open it. Turns out that was a lie.
Oh, really?
Yes, my brother had it open,
Oh, wow.
and he's been playing it in his room.
Oh, wow, what a douche.
Well,
He didn't tell you?
room. It was a separate room.
Okay.
He figured I just knew, but I didn't.
Wait, so you never actually went to go find out what your brother
No.
was doing? Oh,
Well, I
what's
don't know what
Chris
he's
doing today?
He's in his room on the 3rd floor. I'm in the basement.
Yeah.
I have no reason to go to the 3rd.
If you had any reason, you would have found out sooner.
What was he playing on the PS4?
Yeah, what games did you
Warframe.
get?
Well, he was playing Warframe,
Okay.
but we have we got Killzone, so
Cool.
I've been playing that.
Nice. Single player, multiplayer?
Yeah, single player.
You haven't
Gotta
tried
do the
any of the
campaign.
multi?
No, I'm trying to beat it on hard first.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
Fun game. I like the music. The sound is
The
amazing in
music's
it.
very good.
Such great atmosphere to it with the sound and all that.
Yeah.
The one thing that bugged me the most though was the story.
Really?
The most stupid story. If you actually listen to it and follow it properly.
The beginning
It's-
is pretty brutal.
No, not just that. Just the story itself is ridiculous.
Yeah?
So you blow up the planet Helgen, which I would like to remind you that Helgen is actually whatever the planet.
Their neighbors or whatever.
No. What's the name of
Helgast.
the other guys?
I see
the
it.
Vectan.
Vectors.
Vectans,
Yeah. They're actually cousins in DNA. The Helgen used to be the same DNA as the Vectans, then they left, right? Because that's what happened in the first one.
Mhm.
So you blow up their planet, and you're evacuating millions or billions or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, you kill billions, you evacuate everyone else, and then you give them half the planet, it says.
Was it half the planet? I thought they gave him like a city.
Yeah, essentially you gave them half the city, but they say half the planet in the game for some reason. I think
weird.
that's
Okay.
what they say.
Anyways,
Yeah, so you give them half the city, but for some reason, you're a bunch of idiots. You give the people you just conquered and destroyed their planet guns. Because they all have Helgen
no,
guns.
you didn't give them guns.
No, but they all have Helgen guns.
They took them from their homeworld.
How? It's destroyed.
They had
As
ships with armories.
You evacuated them. You evacuated
Oh, really?
I know very little about the game, but from what I understand, there's a guerrilla unit of
Uh,
Helgens.
Gorilla.
Okay.
Of Helgens that are the Helghast themselves are trying to integrate into society,
Yes.
but there is a splinter
Yes,
cell of them
that
are
is
creating.
what it is.
Okay.
But I'd just like to point out, like I said, you gave them half a city. The game actually takes place over many years from the point where the planet blew up.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen right away because there's no way they could have built that wall
No.
in 25 years. So it's happened over a while, but somehow the Helgens managed to get themselves guns
Mhm.
from Helghast. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right? So obviously they gave them, or they came with them.
Yeah.
But not only that, they didn't bother evacuating the people that lived there before.
Mhm.
They just,
Yeah, see, I don't know why.
apparently they just landed with the Helgen and said, okay, they're living here now.
Yeah, that was the
Have
dumbest
fun.
shit ever.
Have fun.
I mean, they were supposed to give. Well, they say they were supposed to give them time to evacuate or whatever, but then they just start killing everybody. Why didn't the Vectan just
Yeah.
retaliate and start fucking bombing the shit
No,
out
but
of
it's
them?
not just that. They could have warned them ages ago. Okay,
Yeah, get out.
Yeah,
we're
moving
giving
here.
we're giving another person your city. Get the fuck
But like
out
I
before
said,
they get here.
There's a giant wall there separating from where Helgen is, and there's still people living behind there. How can they still be living behind there if they knew the wall was going up?
It doesn't make sense.
It's
There's
just-
a lot of
Yeah,
plot
it's
holes.
just there's no sense being made.
What kind of wall is this?
It's like the Berlin Wall,
gigantic wall. No,
That's what
it's like the China Wall. The Great
No,
Wall
but
of
it's
China.
but it's treated like the Berlin Wall.
the
basically.
analogy is that it's the
Yeah,
Berlin.
But anyways, so now there's Helgens that don't want to be part of this, so they're trying to move over.
Yeah.
With the Vectans that are being slaughtered,
Mhm.
and there's a bunch of mismatch of going back and forth with the shadow.
It's not
Units.
horrible, but it's a little.
It's just the story.
There's some holes.
Just
it's a
don't-
missed
Yeah,
opportunity.
Is it-
just don't
is
listen
it-
to that part of the story.
Is it trying to be like that, like East Germany versus West Germany?
Yeah.
It is.
probably.
It is
That's pretty
handled to mixed
It's
effects.
handled poorly. Let's just say that.
It's a cool concept, and it's not all horrible. It's just
No, the gameplay.
in some.
the
No,
game is
that's not what I
amazing.
meant. I mean, the entire story isn't horrible. It's just some parts of it doesn't make
Yeah.
a whole lot of sense,
Yeah.
to the point where they did it on purpose because they needed to,
Yeah.
just to create the game.
Yeah.
But that's how a lot of things
Yeah.
actually happen. I mean, like half the time when you're watching a movie, they could do one or two things different, and none of the movie would ever
I
exist anymore.
I'm just saying, it seemed a little weird that these people somehow had guns from their home world.
But you're still enjoying it.
Yeah, it's an amazing game.
So that's what I was saying, because
It's a hell of a
one
shooter.
of us had mentioned it last week or a couple of weeks ago, maybe even Adam, saying that we all have the tendency of being very negative about games. But from my understanding,
No,
it
I
sounds
love
like you're just being critical about it because
Yeah.
you actually appreciate
Well,
it.
that's it. I actually listened to the story. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this doesn't make any sense. There's no way this would actually ever happen.
How's the
Yeah.
melee system? Yeah.
It's a little sketchy because it's essentially a one-hit kill no matter what you hit.
But it was like that in Killzone
But
3.
I miss every now and again, and I butt him with my gun.
Yeah,
that's
that
annoying.
happened in Killzone.
So I'll sometimes not kill him and just butt him, and I'm like, oh, well, now I gotta kill him again. But
Yeah.
I do have an issue with the fact that I can't switch my main gun.
Yeah.
In the other ones, you could always switch both your guns.
Yeah.
This one, no, you're stuck on the main gun, and I don't like it.
It kind of makes
Yeah,
sense.
but you don't need to have a pistol. You can switch anything for that secondary gun.
Yeah, I know, but I would like to say switch for a secondary sniper rifle instead of holding the garbage one I got, and switch for like an automatic rifle.
Yeah, but the main weapon you have is pretty good usually.
I don't like it.
No?
No,
How far
'cause-
did you get into the story anyways?
I'm at the point where I just killed the terrorist guy.
Well, what chapter? I mean, I'm only at
I
like the
have
third
no
or fourth
idea.
chapter. How many
Further.
missions have you been on?
What?
Okay, so you're probably
Okay, where are
pretty
you
far
at? I'll
today.
tell you. How
I'm in like the third or
No,
fourth
but
mission.
what
I did
just
the space
happened?
mission.
Okay, I'm after that.
I'm very
by the way,
close to the beginning.
I hated that space mission because they made you use circle and X to go up and down.
Oh, really? I didn't even know what they used to make go up and down. Literally, all of the anti-gravity parts of that segment were horrible.
Yeah, no, it's because
It just, like, the controls just felt
well,
off.
that's it because they made you use circle and X to go up and down.
What do you mean up and down? Like
I-
loading up into the
Yeah,
Float
sky?
up
I,
and
I
down.
can't look and go straight. I have to hold circle and it goes up and then I go straight.
No, I was able to go
Yeah,
straight,
it's very.
but I couldn't go up and down.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you can only go up on an angle. You can't go.
Yeah, it was very odd.
And you can see your feet though. I like that. And he changes costumes all the time, so he's always got different shoes on.
That's
And I love his shoes.
He
hilarious.
has different
sneakers.
feet on
He had sneakers on at one point. I'm like, wow, nice
Shit.
sneakers.
for the parkour sections.
All right, my turn. I pretty much only played Knack all week.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that it is my actual favorite launch title of this
Wow.
generation right now.
Go figure.
Mainly because, well, I mean, I'm not
Maybe
saying
because
any.
you like bad games.
Yeah,
Bad
but
games.
nobody
No.
plays it.
It's actually a fucking good game. I really enjoy it a lot.
Have you developed a knack for the game?
Yes!
Yes, Sean,
The worst. Anyways, it's actually a fantastic game. But see, the thing is, you can't I don't know what people are expecting from this. Okay, it is a gamey game. It is like an old school action platformer, and it's just made to be fun, and that is what it is. I played it on hard. I beat it on hard. I was streaming it a lot, and that was actually a lot of fun because at one point I had like 70 or 80 viewers on me. Aside from that, I beat it on hard. Now I'm playing on very hard, and it is fucking stupid hard. Like everything one hit kills you basically, which is like I have a couple of complaints about the game. One thing I didn't like is the checkpoint system. It's fucking god awful.
They don't tell you.
God awful. Yeah, it doesn't tell you where the checkpoint is for one, but on top of that, it's like they make the worst sequences sometimes to the point where like you have like a few easy fights that are really annoying to go through a lot. And then they have one tough one at the end, and then you can't beat the tough one, and then you have to go all the way back and redo those shitty fights just to get back there. That or they'll have 4 really hard fights in a row, and by the time you beat 2 of the hard ones, you get to the third one, you're like, okay, maybe it'll ease you up and not have a checkpoint. But no, you just die and restart at the beginning again.
I'd like to add that Batman Arkham Origins also has terrible checkpoints.
Yeah.
Not checkpoints, but when you die, which you end up dying a lot because it's actually a more difficult game, there's this weird thing where it loads to a game over screen, and depending on the goon who kills you, it's a different villain. So like, let's say a goon beats you up, it's Penguin's goons. The Penguin will come on screen and he'll say something
they
to
do
you.
that in that city.
Exactly, they do it in Origins also. But that loads, right? So that needs to load, and then after that, you need to load the checkpoint afterwards. So it's a good 30 or 35 seconds.
God.
It's very annoying.
Sucks.
So continue with Knack, I'm sorry.
Wait, sorry. On that note, in Killzone, when a guy kills you, like because it says that your drone can't save you because you're out of that or whatever, you'll have a camera view of the enemy, and it'll show them doing a gesture at
Yeah.
you just to insult you as they kill you because they're a bunch of bastards.
It's so odd.
It should
They're
be him
teabagging you.
teabag.
Yeah, that's what I
He
said.
comes and teabags
They're
you.
doing a gesture to you.
No, but I
the
remember
first
that as
thing I
well
thought-
because the screen is dark, and then one of the Helgen who kills you says something to you, like,
Or
"Oh,
they
I
do
killed
something,
him."
they gesture at you.
Yeah.
One's actually nice and he salutes you.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah,
Interesting.
he salutes you.
What a nice guy.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
gentleman.
I know. I'm like, wow, he saluted me. All the rest are like waving their fist at me, like giving me the finger and like doing stupid shit to me. I'm like, oh, well, this guy's nice. I
Doing
won't kill him
stupid
next
shit.
time.
Doing stupid shit.
Sharking you.
So yeah, basically why I think Knack is my favorite launch title right now is basically because the other games I have Killzone, I have Battlefield 4, and I have FIFA. I've played Killzone 2 and 3 on PS3. I've played Battlefield Bad Company 1, 2, and I've played Battlefield 3, all for PS3, and then I've played FIFA countlessly on any other console. It doesn't really matter. So, I mean, I've had all those experiences recently, whereas Knack reminds me of like old school Crash Bandicoot or Spyro the Dragon or Jak and Daxter. The list goes on, but there hasn't been a game that has released like this. There have been games that are released like this recently, but maybe not to this level of
Ratchet and
polish.
Clank. Every year, Ratchet and
Yes,
Clank.
I never play Ratchet and
He doesn't
Clank.
play
though.
Ratchet and Clank.
But I mean, like, not to this level of polish or anything like that. It's not like it's a very well-made game. It doesn't do anything revolutionary, but the combat is fun. It's repetitive, but there are so many different varieties of enemies that there's a big like dynamic in the actual gameplay because you're always fighting something different.
Mm-hmm.
The game is fairly a decent length. Like there's 13 chapters, and right now on very hard it takes me about an hour and a half to beat a chapter. So it's going to take me like 13 to 15 hours to beat the game on very hard,
Okay.
and I already spent about a little bit less than that on hard, right? So that is why I think it's my favorite launch title, just because the experience is it's not new, but it's not something I've experienced in a long time. And I think it deserves a lot better than it's gotten on Metacritic. Like, it has 56 on Metacritic, which is bullshit. I would easily give it a 7.5. And I don't understand what the fuck all these reviewers are thinking, because It's not a bad game. It's a lot of fun, and I think they're just shitting on it for whatever reason.
Well, I think that it's because they're comparing it to how a next gen should be. I guess that's what
Maybe,
they're judging. Because it'd be like all those other games. What systems were they on? Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. Like how long ago?
PS1,
Yeah, exactly. How long ago
Atari
did those come out?
2600.
Exactly.
ColecoVision.
Yeah, how long ago did those come out? Like they expect, I guess, something a little bit more refined. In
yeah, but like I said, if you can't look past what it is. Like
But
you can't.
it could.
what-
It should have been just an arcade game, not an actual game that you got to go and buy. Or
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I full on agree that it is not worth $60. I had a $20 coupon. I got it for $40. I full on think it's worth $40. I do not think it's worth $60. But I think as soon as the price point comes down, everyone that has a PS4 should play this game because it's just a lot of fun. And eventually, like maybe in a year and a half or like 2 years, it might actually be free on PlayStation Plus. I'm pretty sure that would actually probably happen. And at that point, no one has an excuse not to play it. And then they'll see like how fun the game actually is.
See, I feel like the PS4 lineup, launch lineup, is similar to the PS2's launch lineup, in that it just sucked. Let's admit it.
It's not
The
that
PS2
bad.
No, but the PS2 lineup sucked.
I don't even remember the PS2
It was
launch
horrible.
lineup.
They had like the worst games, except for like SSX.
Oh,
The original SSX.
Wow, that was a good
Except for
game.
that.
But see, this launch lineup is much better than the PS3 launch lineup.
Of course.
Much better.
But I still feel like it's like, I think Sony's put themselves back in the position that they had with the PS2, and on the other hand, Microsoft has put themselves in the PS3's position. That's what I feel like it's been.
Okay.
Like they have like a good set of games right now, like with Rise.
Yeah, but I like.
We'll leave
Zoo,
it
Zoo
to-
Tycoon.
I didn't like. I mean, I didn't like the PS3's launch lineup. It was garbage. The PS3's.
Motor Storm
Yeah,
is
I mean,
amazing though.
The
Virtua
Motor Storm
Fighter
was
5,
okay. Yeah,
4.
Virtual Fighter 5. That was the one game we played.
That's true.
Out of all of Virtual Fighter 5, that's not really a like I'm playing Knack and Killzone and Battlefield 4. That's a fucking launch lineup.
But I think the thing with that is
Virtual Fighter 5. I mean, okay, I would love to have a fighting game right now. There is no fighting game right now other than Killer Instinct on Xbox One, which I do not have.
There's the new Mortal Kombat versus
Yes, there is Injustice,
Injustice. Thank you.
but I'm not gonna buy that.
No, why not?
you're not getting Injustice.
He doesn't
You
like
could buy it for the
superheroes.
Wii.
Gods Among Us.
Yeah, jeez.
No,
Buy
I'm
it
not
for
gonna
the
buy
Wii.
it. Buy it for the Wii.
You
My
can be
sister has
Spider-Man in that. No, you can't.
Give me Flash.
Flash, thank you.
Spider-Man. He's Marvel.
Yeah.
The Animal Man.
Oh shit! Are you
Aquaman.
still reading that?
No, I'm reading Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
And
Yeah, Swamp Thing's amazing.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I should
so
read it.
underrated.
I should read it.
All right, on to the question of the week. So,
Swamp Thing or Aquaman?
Tough call.
the question is comparing campaign single player mode to online multiplayer, either co-op or competitive multiplayer. What do you think each of them brings to the mold of gaming, and why do you prefer one over the other, and what type of game either? Because there's first-person shooters, there's action games, there's racing games. They all have single player and they all have multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like games today, like Call of Duty in the past was more of a single player game, and now it's just no one plays the campaign. They go straight to the online. Some people play the campaign, but they're not really playing. Like they just play it to get through it.
Killzone?
They're just gonna go, yeah.
Killzone, yeah.
And then there's games like Tales and stuff like that don't have online, but it would be nice like to introduce that feature
Yeah, if it had like online co-op.
instead of all of you sitting in one room for
Exactly.
40 hours.
Not to mention you'd have your own screens and you maybe have your own cameras too,
Yeah,
so that it doesn't get jumbled.
yeah.
And where the game would theoretically have multiple main characters, and if you were, I can't think of any characters named A, B, C, and D, depending on the character you've selected, the cutscene will have a different vantage to it. The camera will be like focused on a different character.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or if they did what they did with this current Tales, where Mila and Jude have their different storyline, if everyone had their own separate scenario, like at one point you branch off.
Yeah.
Imagine doing something else while that guy's playing that storyline
Yeah.
or something like that.
That's just technically an MMO. At that point.
Yeah, but you're playing through one story with a bunch of people.
It
Yeah,
would be more
an MMO, you
controlled. It
could.
would be more focused, though. An MMO is very
You pretty much stole it.
yeah.
But you could do that theoretically in an MMO. Just to all start together.
You could, but then you have a
Yeah.
bunch of other people. This would be in one little world where it'd only be you and like 4 other people.
Plus, I don't think there would be a
Yeah.
benefit for the producers or whatever to create a game like that because it would probably cost too much to make a game like that.
It's
Yeah.
very
Just
true.
for individuals to pay a flat fee of
economically and as far as development goes, yes, that would be a nightmare. But as far as us being consumers and gamers, that would be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it'd be amazing for any game like that,
But
especially
well,
like in Killzone.
there's a certain line between competitive and casual online gaming, I think. There's a point like Erickson, he went from casual playing LoL to competitive. He hates it when he loses.
That's
I'm
my
casual still, but I have a competitive side.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to lose, but I don't care. Like, I can play through LoL as much as I want. I don't care if I lose. It's 12 games in a row. It's just frustrating sometimes.
Frustrating.
For us, trading.
Brandon, you were gonna say something?
I just want to say that like competitive, online multiplayer brings on these variables that you wouldn't see in single player, not necessarily, and those variables could add, a totally different kind of angle or perspective that you see on a game.
Yeah.
Like for example, I mean, I guess Call of Duty. We're all gonna say Call of Duty, right? It's just
Possible.
or why don't we just say Battlefield 4? The fact that you can just mold the terrain totally changes the game up for every match. And there's games like that where you can spend hours and hours and hours, and it's always different. It's always a slightly different experience.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Versus-
when you play campaign,
Yeah, you're slightly molded by what the developers want, but the developers want a story. So I mean, for a developer, like there's money to be put into the story versus just having an online thing. There's not too much money put toward the story, but rather the gameplay itself.
Yeah.
So like their focus is on the gameplay. So it's hard to say like
one versus the other.
yeah.
The main reason in any first-person shooter, the only reason I ever played the single player first over the multiplayer is because it's practice. And every single first-person shooter is slightly different, especially if it's a new one in the series. It's similar, but it's a little bit different. So I always like beating the single-player campaign before I get into any multiplayer, mainly just because I get used to the controls, I get used to the aiming, I get used to everything, and then I can go own people.
But I mean, how long does it take you to get used to the controls?
Not very long, but it's still good practice, especially if you're playing on hard. Then you get a decent challenge, and you can go through. It just warms you up for the multiplayer.
Like Counter-Strike.
Like Counter-Strike.
Those goddamn bots on the new one.
But the interesting thing too is that coming at it from predominantly from a single player perspective, because I usually just play single player games, it's interesting how there is even a story being surgically attached to video games. Because when they first started, they didn't have any semblance of them being some sort of a storytelling medium.
But they all did have stories. It was just in the booklets.
Right, but that was just to give context to it, right? I mean, at the core of it, I don't think that the developers ever had the intention of writing something that was so The Last of Us, for example. I don't think that when video games first started, anyone could have conceived of that existing, where people would tear up or well up when they were seeing.
I think that's more because of media and movies and things like that. People want to experience these movies for themselves by
I agree.
immersing. That's, I think, one of the reasons why they created stories.
That's true.
Like that.
I still feel very strongly that playing a video game always holds up better than watching it, just because if you're watching a video game, then you could just be watching something else. There are other mediums that do something better. For example, story. Story is handled better in film and in TV because it's been around for longer, right? But in video games, the act of actually having to force yourself through something to surmount something doesn't translate into any other medium. I'm watching The Sopranos. I don't feel for Tony Soprano when he's achieved something because I wasn't Tony Soprano achieving that, right? You feel more connected to the character if he or she is surmounting something that doesn't exist in other mediums.
Yeah, but the whole point of storytelling is to get the person viewing the specific medium to feel empathy, right? So you're supposed to feel empathetic towards Tony Soprano. So when he feels that rush of emotion or whatever when he completes something, you're supposed to feel the same way because you're empathetic towards like his success because presumably you know what success feels like, right?
Well, definitely, and I think that they handle it differently. I think there's a lot. They can afford more subtlety in film and in TV just because the characters don't have to be modeled. Whereas in video games, it must take a lot of effort to actually to create that kind of subtlety in someone's face, right? It's almost not even worth the effort. That's why a lot of Japanese RPGs have it in the writing, whereas the characters are stiff and almost unanimated, and you still get the expression of how they are as people. You just need to fill in the sort of the
imagination.
It's your imagination to some extent. I'm just curious more why cooperative games and competitive games, rather, have become more of the mainstay, and why these story-based games have sort of faltered a little bit.
it's just like saying, like mainstream anything versus underground anything.
Yeah.
It's just an instant gratification, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, multiplayer. Well, not all multiplayer, but most multiplayer was all just instant gratification. If there was a way to like hybridize or like put the two together,
Mhm.
that'd be pretty cool. If you could make a story like
Well,
not cooperative, like a single player, like you play your multiplayer, but it has some random story injected in it. That'd be pretty cool.
Like you mentioned Dark Souls, because I'd seen someone play just the speed run so I can know before I play some of the stuff. You can actually play cooperative. I
Yeah.
didn't. It was pretty interesting.
Yes, it was.
Like you can literally just call in somebody and they'll come in and they will help you fight and kill
Yeah.
things. But then you can get invaded, which I thought was amazing as well.
Which is also cool. But a lot of people didn't
Yeah.
do it. But
There
Yeah,
was,
because you can get fucking.
there was a lot of
owned.
trolls to it, but I mean the concept behind it was pretty interesting. You play your own story the way
Yeah.
you want, and this guy comes and helps you because he's
Yeah.
stronger than you.
and that's the beauty of story, right? Because to my knowledge, in Demons and in Dark Souls, there are narratives.
Yeah.
You actually, it's almost like Adam had mentioned before, it's in the quote-unquote booklet. It exists. It is never force-fed to you. If you want to explore the narrative, there is a narrative to explore. If you don't, the argument is that there are these parallel universes almost, where your character is one of many who are enacting the exact same function perpetually.
It's like any MMO.
Exactly, but MMOs handle it less eloquently. I think that Dark Souls and Demon Souls handled it very well.
Yeah, you bring a good point, but like to me, it seems like that is single player with light emphasis or light multiplayer. Like there's nothing. It's not too hard. It just slowly kind of eased in.
Mhm.
Like I'm thinking about
can be
Journey.
hard. Okay, yeah, Journey.
Like
Yeah.
Journey, it's like you're
was crazy.
playing with someone, but like you don't necessarily have to follow that other person.
Mhm.
But like they could be like a lot better than you. They can follow. They can help you out,
Mhm.
like depending on the person.
That was the one where no one spoke, right?
Yeah,
you
it
just
was
made
nothing.
symbols and there was no story,
Yeah.
literally.
But it's amazing when you have someone like play with you, and they'll like show you different things. Like you don't, like you might have like you might be new to the game, and it's like your first playthrough, and you have this guy who's been playing for God knows how long.
His scarf
He
is
has-
a lot bigger
He has
than
a really
yours.
big scarf, yeah. So, and you're jealous, and like I want that.
I
kind
got
of
a small scarf, but he's got a big one.
I can't rise up. I can't erect. I can't rise.
Yeah.
Those games are really cool because they have like slight, like, a little
Yeah.
bit of multiplayer in it,
But it's very light and it's very
But it would be cool to see the
Abstract
opposite.
almost.
But it's also very organic, right? That's
That's
the point.
what- that's
where
what
the
I tried to
design was actually
You don't
intentional.
speak,
To,
you just-
yeah, like I'm thinking of like in the PS2 era, they had a Resident Evil that was an online
Oh
experience.
god, I
very
remember
similar,
Matt.
very similar to Journey, where you couldn't use your mic. You actually played with people in these different scenarios. It was almost like Left 4 Dead before Left 4 Dead came out. One of several different scenarios. You appear in like random locations, and you can't actually communicate with people except for very basic commands.
Matt, didn't you play Resident Evil Outbreak?
No.
Okay,
I think it was Richard.
it was either you or Richard, but
No.
like basically the way it worked was it was so funny because it's just an
Oh, yeah,
online
that was-
Resident
that
Evil
was
game,
Richard,
right?
that was Richard.
But what he would do is he would run and gather up a bunch of zombies and then follow someone and then run through the door and then hold the doorknob on the other side.
yeah, I remember
but
that.
there was-
Forcing like keeping the
I-
other
There
guy
was
with the
other stuff than
zombies.
that. Oh, sorry, go.
No, I played that.
Oh, you played that, yeah?
And someone actually did that. That was
It's probably
fun.
Yeah,
Richard.
no, there was other stuff that you could do because you can help each other. Like in the game, you give them boosts, so you help them up a ledge.
Yeah.
You can jump across like a gap, and instead of pushing X to help them, you just don't do anything, so they hit the wall and fall.
It's
So it's just stuff like that.
hilarious. You have to really rely on other people, though.
Yeah.
So what about you, Erickson? You're getting a lot more into competitive League of Legends, but
Well, before I get into that, you guys say Call of Duty. I'm gonna say StarCraft 2
yeah.
Oh,
because
God.
I didn't buy StarCraft 2 for the online. Because StarCraft 2 has actually a decent story. I mean,
It's amazing.
it's not too hard. You can interact because you have your like a hub.
Yeah.
Before you go into the missions. And
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So you can interact with
It's more than just a hub; it's a spaceship. Then you got to travel around the spaceship.
In what, first person or third person?
Well, you don't travel
Isometric?
around by map. Like you click. And,
Oh, you have
Oh.
different
Like
menus.
you go inside
Okay.
like a 3D world. It's like me looking at this now. Click there, it'll zoom in there.
Oh shit,
I
that's
click
pretty
in
cool.
and I'll zoom in the top.
And what,
too.
So it's
there-
like Google Street View.
And do you see like models of people that you're talking
It's the
about?
real thing. It's like
Yeah.
literally real time.
Wow, that's actually really cool.
So you really wanted to get StarCraft just for the single player?
Yeah, well, I'll try to get into the competitive, the online, and because there's 1,000 strategies you can do in StarCraft 2. I played a game where I was playing a Terran, and suddenly I see like 50 Zerglings like coming into my
Zerg
God,
base.
Zerg yeah.
Yeah, so I like, oh god, I wasn't expecting this. Okay, now I'm dead.
How many clicks per second do you get? How many action? What is it? Actions per
Not
second?
Korean speed.
Not even. I just okay.
They click just a click.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
they warm up at the beginning and they're like non-useful clicks just to warm up
Because
their
they
fingers.
call it actions per second, right?
Yeah.
Because every person has like say 4 or 5 abilities, and you got to be able to use all the groups of people's abilities at the same time. So they call it actions per second, but really they're just clicking around like madmen.
I was just building my barracks and I just see like 50 Zerglings. I was just building.
God.
I was just starting to get my Marines and like 50 Zerglings coming into my base.
Yeah.
So I was like, forget it. I
It's
can't
like-
do it.
Fuck multiplayer.
No, like I tried it too, the multiplayer online, and you learn how to do it. That's what it is. It's a steep learning curve
Yeah.
of strategies to use. Like I played the turns. I got Zerg Rush once too, but they show you what to do if you watch. You got to build as the turns because you can move all their buildings. They all fly.
Yeah.
So you could just plant them in the bridges and cut off everybody's movement so they can't get to you. And by then you've already sent your CRVs to go fuck up their base.
Yeah,
'Cause your CRVs are beasts.
Yeah.
1-on-1.
I was gonna get into that. My friend's husband plays StarCraft 2, but he's a dick. What he does is he plays Terran and then he just moves his base all over the map, and then says to the guy, "Yeah, I don't really feel like playing anymore, so I'm just gonna leave and wait for you to leave. I'm not actually gonna leave. I'm just gonna let this run, and have fun trying to find my bases. I'm just gonna wait for you to leave." He comes back like 8 hours later. And he sees all these messages like, "Fuck you, you're an asshole. What the fuck? Where's your bases?" The guy stayed on for like 3 hours apparently trying to find it, but he couldn't.
How can
And
it
so
be
then-
so hard to find it?
How
though?
come?
Because he put it everywhere. Like, it was a big enough map apparently, and like but there's little things,
So
little
you made
bases
him,
everywhere.
So you made him surrender.
Yeah, no, the guy eventually quit, so he just built up his base.
Oh,
You
I
can
see.
hide it in the corners.
He built up his army and then just went to go destroy the other guy's base and won.
The other guy probably just know how to play well enough to search
To find
everywhere
properly,
off
yeah.
the map.
I see.
He didn't look off the map.
That's terrible.
But anyways, yeah, so
So yeah, that's my thoughts on StarCraft. Now going into LoL, and I'm gonna admit that I am very competitive. Like these guys know that.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Like I hate losing. Losing sucks
yeah,
stupid
losing
reasons,
does
too.
suck though.
But no, but for stupid reasons.
for
though.
stupid reasons. Like
The whole point of the game is to win. But I hate when people are like, "Oh, you should just try and have fun." I'm like,
I
"Yeah,
have fun when I win.
winning is fun. Losing because you're an
wait.
asshole and you're a dumb piece of shit fucking isn't fun."
But going to your original question, like you can sort of go into single player. Like I know some people who just play bot games.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
Because they like to win a
Sorry.
lot.
How are those? How could you even enjoy that though?
They're
well,
actually pretty
okay, wait.
hard.
Nah,
Because
not
no,
really.
I was with
Close to
him.
3
I was
line.
with you and Alex,
Oh.
and the bots react so fast, like literally, like milliseconds fast. I did a move where I was Pantheon.
Yeah.
I jumped in before I even landed. He had me stunned. Literally, I was midair. I didn't have a chance to push
Are
anything.
you fucking kidding me?
He stunned me as I hit the floor.
Yep.
Wow.
But yeah, I know some people. That's
Who only
perfect.
play
That's
bots, okay.
perfectly fine. Like if you like to play bot games. But the thing is, and I'm gonna say this, like you get nothing to playing against bots. You know,
No.
they're bots. I know what. I think it was one of you because in the beginning of the match, like bots don't come at like what 1:30. So
Oh,
you can.
yeah, it's Mayoor.
You
He
can
always.
lead them.
Yeah.
I would go for the second turret and force them through the jungle to go to our second turret.
And
They
they can kill 'em.
they just walk through our lane
They
getting hit
fixed
by
that,
2
though.
different turrets.
And they die.
And they die.
They're supposed to have fixed that though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's bot games, right? You like you said, you don't get anything out of that. You don't get any better.
Because
Because
I don't feel the satisfaction of just killing bots. Like when you're playing against a real life human being,
Bragging rights. That's what
Bragging
it is.
rights.
it's all about
Satisfaction.
bragging rights.
So it's
Like
them
if you make
Koreans.
It's all about that satisfaction.
So playing competitively then is about your ego,
Yeah.
Your
be honest,
ego
yes.
and
To be better than
personal
other people.
satisfaction.
which is affiliated with the ego.
Yeah.
Because it is a competitive sport, like most other people would want.
Yeah,
That doesn't
win.
even
it's the
sound
same
like
thing.
a-
When
that
I play
doesn't seem-
hockey, I mean, it's fun to win.
But I might be overstepping myself, but I feel like Brandon and I are the least competitive of us in this group right now.
yeah.
Like that doesn't sound appealing to me.
Well, I
mean,
don't know
going
how
on-
I don't know how competitive Mayoor is. He seems very aloof.
I'm very passive.
Yeah.
But you've played 4,000 hours of League of Legends.
No, but a lot of that is idle too. Like maybe
So
like
2,000 hours.
No, maybe like 500 of those hours are idle.
In the ranking
So
system
15.
between all of us, our group, I'm third technically.
Yeah.
Alex has a lot.
third of this group.
Games played.
Oh, I see. But who is the quote unquote best?
Alex. Or it's a toss up between Alex and Erickson.
Yeah.
And Alex plays a lot.
Alex plays
Plays a
enough.
It depends on the role though. if you look at roles, we all have our own specialties.
Yeah.
But Alex is the most all
Alex,
around.
yeah, the
player.
problem with Alex's is, though, the role he plays, it's very easy to win games with. And the role me and Erickson play, it's easy to lose games with because we're not playing support technically, but we're a support role. We play like tanky jungle characters, and you need your lanes not to fucking suck in order to be anywhere effective. And if you're playing a solo game in a ranked match with a bunch of fucking idiots that are just whining for help from everyone and can't hold their fucking lane, you can't do that. But Alex, like, he plays mid a lot, and he just, if he can wreck someone's face at mid, which he always does, then he just goes to other lanes and continues wrecking their faces.
Here's the
and helps.
easy explanation of it. There's certain characters, certain types of characters that can carry a 5-man team.
Okay.
Alex usually plays those guys. The jungle can't usually carry a 5-man team by himself.
No, he needs some help. At least
Sometimes
two
two.
decent people.
That's
Oh,
why.
I see.
At the end of the day, it's a team game. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just have one
Yeah,
person.
you win as a team and you lose as a team.
Like, I didn't mention, like, getting the most kills doesn't win you the game.
It's getting that 50 gold at the end.
It's objectives. It's not.
Yeah, it's about killing turrets, but it's a competitive thing. That's one thing about competitive games that you don't get in single player games is that, like, you don't have to deal with people. In single player games, you're perfectly fine. You go through your thing. The developers make it an experience because they know exactly what you're going to be doing when you're going to be doing it, okay? That's the best part about single player games. In competitive games, it's hard to manage everything because you don't know what people are going to do, right? And League of Legends is the worst for that because it has such widespread appeal and there are so many people playing it, you literally cannot expect what you get, ever. It's always different kinds of shit, and it's not always good.
Think of it like this. When you play a single-player game and you beat it, how do you feel?
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. Because
Except for when you get pissed because the ending sucks.
Yeah.
So it's technically you're happy that you beat the developer's game because that's what they made for you. They made a challenge for you.
True.
So say it's technically a multiplayer game to begin with.
Okay.
That's how all their multiplayer games are. You're fighting against other people that can manipulate that game in real time.
I see.
Yeah. And it's like, little victories because it's like basketball. Every hoop is a kill. They just happen a lot more frequently.
300 points game.
300 points a game, yeah.
I feel like the last really good multiplayer game that I played was The Last of Us, and I had a really good time.
That was a
with it.
lot of fun,
That
yes.
is a lot of fun.
That is the rare occurrence of proper co-op competitive. But see, the thing is, it's because it's done in very small groups, and we always play together. Like when we play League of Legends as a 5-man team, it's a lot more fun than playing with randoms.
I
Okay,
agree.
and when we were playing and three people with that one random person, we did very well in
I
The Last of
friended
Us.
him.
You actually friended him. That's funny. But in The Last of Us, it was a lot of fun playing together, and I think that's where competitive multiplayer shines is when you can play with actual
As a
friends,
team.
people that you can actually have proper teamwork with. Because if you're just playing with a bunch of randoms, you might as well just get pissed off right away.
Funny story. Because I remember way back then. Remember the store Ojer?
Yeah,
Gamers Co-op.
Sure.
They used to host a LoL tournament.
Oh, God,
They somehow like to group us with random people
Uh-huh.
that we never met before. And the funny thing is, Mayoor was grouped with this person, and communication is key. Like, it's better to play with your friends.
But you're right next to each other.
Yeah, but it's me, me and my friend Eric.
Yeah.
And then this random guy.
Uh-huh.
And this random guy didn't play the same way we did. We had our own idea. We tried to explain it to him. He didn't understand. He just did his own thing.
And then you guys lost?
Yeah.
Of course we lost. It was all about him, basically.
Okay.
So
See, that's when you get selfish people playing a team game. Doesn't work.
But there must be a lot of those, right?
It's the same thing in sports. I mean, like, if you get a selfish player that doesn't, pass or anything like that, it can end up hurting the team because he's not playing like a team.
Well, why does that still exist? Why are there so many of these people who play so selfishly in a team
Because
they don't
sport?
care.
Because
they
Personality.
don't
yeah,
care.
it's personality traits.
And it involves the internet.
Yeah.
See, I'd rather just win instead of like I like killing shit and stuff like that, and I like boosting my stats, but I'd rather win also or whatever.
But you wouldn't rather win. You'd rather have a better kill to death ratio.
If I'm already losing.
But you'd rather have a.
But
good
usually,
kill
yeah.
to
But see, the thing is, in Killzone, if I'm carrying and I have a ton of kills, like usually we're winning anyways because of the way that the actual game modes work. You're just put in that opportunity. Like if you're actually getting a good kill
Oh, I
death
see,
ratio,
yeah.
you're actually probably in the lead at that point. Whereas if you're playing Rush in Battlefield, and all you have is a bunch of snipers on your team trying to do a good kill death ratio, and they're not going for the fucking attack box. Fine, if you're defending and you want to snipe and just camping the box, perfectly fine. But if you're fucking attacking, no one should be a fucking sniper. Maybe one person, but not 4 people in the back trying to pad their stats. You're never gonna win a rush game being like that. I'm always the fucking like engineer or the fucking guy with this submachine gun because I'm running in trying to blow up the box.
I'm just saying, in multiplayer competitive things, there's always going to be a douchebag.
Always.
Because that's the internet.
But like that's why I don't care about online multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like a single player thing, a campaign or a game, there's no one around or in the game to fuck with me.
Except
Yeah.
the computers.
Yeah, but that
'Cause
doesn't
they're a pain
matter
in the ass.
because like
Very hard.
that I can forgive because that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what-
Or like if my like support characters are just not as smart,
Yeah.
like the
Or
AI is not good.
supporting
Yeah.
you properly.
But like I don't really care. Like it's versus like I don't see why people care so much about it.
Mm.
In the end, it's like a sport.
Yeah, it's like a sport. But if
Yeah.
you like sports, then you'll like competitive online games.
That's
No,
true.
but I do like sports, but I don't really care. Like,
But you don't play sports, so you like watching sports.
Yeah.
So you should watch competitive gaming.
Watch it. Watch how fast they can click in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
But like you like watching hockey, you like watching CFL, NFL, you like watching sports.
Yeah.
But you
not
don't
on
like playing
RDS.
sports.
Not necessarily, but yeah, I guess yeah.
I'm
So, I
actually
mean,
the
like-
opposite.
You're the opposite.
Yeah, I don't like watching hockey or anything.
But
I
you like playing
it.
Okay.
Well, you also will.
But you also watch League of Legends and you also play League of Legends.
Yes,
so
that's
you're a
different.
rare
That's
little
a different
occurrence.
story.
Yeah, that's
But like
different.
maybe check out some streams of competitive gaming. You might enjoy it.
It's just fun to watch people do plays, like
The Wombo combo.
the Wombo combo. But if you see someone like low health and they like outplay like someone that has full health,
Yeah.
like let's say, what's a good?
Yeah, well, you don't need
The
an
jukes.
example, but we know what you mean. It's just seeing.
And you have the commentators too to
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it adds a bit of
You just
Something
want to
good.
see something crazy happen, and it does happen. But it's like watching sports. Sometimes crazy shit happens.
So you're saying that at its core, if you're a competitive person, you'll enjoy the competitive elements of video games. And if you're not, then you
Generally don't.
Generally
And
don't.
on a spectrum, of course, you're not just this binary thing. Mayoor seems to enjoy both. He enjoys, and I enjoy both to some extent, but I'm
But
very
you
much.
you'd rather play with us. You don't like playing.
Yeah. I would.
But you have though.
I have.
You played like what Max Payne by yourself.
I did play the multiplayer from
It
Max
had
Payne.
an online.
It was very good.
Mainly because no one
Killzone.
had Max Payne and you wanted to try it anyway.
Yeah,
Killzone
exactly.
as well. I'm sure you played on.
I played a lot of Killzone
And there
2,
was
not so much of Killzone for me.
Batman 2 had some online though.
No.
is that gonna be on
Oh, Gotham Imposters?
Did you say Origins?
Oh,
No.
Origins. Yeah, I'm not going to play it. Yeah,
You're not gonna
Origins.
play it?
Imposters.
I didn't like
Imposters
it.
was a
so
lot of fun.
fun. Yeah,
I
I
didn't
know.
like it. I have to agree with
Me and
Brandon.
Sean had a ton of fun
Yeah,
with
we
the
it.
had-
toughest time, the lobby system sucked ass.
Yeah, the lobby system.
I just didn't like the way it looked. It looked
I
too
loved the
cartoony.
way it looked. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
I liked it.
No, it was
I
too
enjoyed
cartoony.
everything about
play
it.
a match with you guys. Which
No,
was
I
the
know.
only reason I bought that game.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Money
even,
well
like,
spent.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't like chibi animation, so when I saw little cartoon characters running around, I'm like, oh, well, this is stupid.
Yeah, well, they look like Team Fortress
That's
characters. You don't like Team Fortress?
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Imposters is
No.
Team Fortress.
Because of the fact that it was supposed
It's
to
pretty
be
much the
DC.
same.
Yeah, okay. I see
I'm
what
like,
you're
oh, they're just changing skins on everything to make
Yeah.
them.
saying. Yeah, you're right.
I'm like, oh, well, I might as well just play Team Fortress too.
And it was kind of unbalanced. There was these weird,
There
sort
was
of, like
some
these
crazy
optimal
shit.
class compositions.
like Joker.
No,
you
no,
had
no,
people,
no.
people who were like little people on roller skates who had miniguns
They
who
were
were just
way too fast.
They were too
Oh, God.
fast. and
Yeah,
they had
because
just-
basically, if you're a small guy carrying a big gun, it impedes your movement, but not enough. And you're still moving so fast, and you have this crazy ass giant gun.
Yeah.
Stupid. That or you're a giant guy with armor, and it was impossible to
and you
kill.
glide and
Yeah,
smash into
You would
people.
just glide and hit people
And
people
kill
from the
them
air and just
instantly.
instant kill.
Wow.
The best thing for the big guys though was a hatchet. It would instant kill people if you threw it at them. And the best thing for the small guys is that they died really fast. If you're able to actually hit them, they died.
It was fun.
It was
For
a
what
lot of fun.
I think I put whatever it was, like 15 or 20 hours into it. It was worth my money.
Anyways, on that note, that's it for us. So thanks for tuning in, and like, comment, subscribe. Check out our streams on Twitch. We have them linked in our YouTube channel.
Link dump,
Yes, they're all linked there. Check them out. Facebook,
MySpace,
all that stuff.
Instagram.
What? No one's shouting
Tumblr.
all kinds of obscenities this time.
Google Plus.
Brandon's got nothing.
Google Plus.
LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
Snapchat,
Pinterest.
Vine,
Vine us.
Have a good
High
night.
Five.
Bing.
No one uses Bing.
Who
Shut
uses
up.
Bing, Sean? What the hell?
I use Bing.
No.
I don't use
Bring
Bing.
it, man.
I don't
Have a
use
good
Bing.
night, guys.